This is Served with me, Andy Roddick. Please hit subscribe. We drop new episodes every week. This clip's brought to you by ServiceNow. AI is only as powerful as the platform it's built on. With the ServiceNow AI platform, your AI, data, and workflows all work together, connecting every corner of your business. To see how you can put AI to work for people, visit servicenow.com/AI-agents. Mike, did you watch much of I mean, I can't say much. It wasn't very long.
Yeah, it wasn't very long.
But the Sinner final against Zverev.
Yeah, I mean, when we sat down to watch it, my daughter was like, "Oh, how far into the match are you?" And I was like, "About 20 minutes." She's like, "How much longer?" Because she wanted to go outside. And I was like, "It looks like probably about 20 more minutes."
Yeah.
Because he was just dominating.
Yeah, it makes you think also, like when the other one isn't there, like when Carlos isn't there, and the divide is just so obvious. And not even just the matchup against Zverev, because now it's probably gotten into the realm where, you know, Zverev, I think, got him more than Sinner got him early in his career, beat him in some slams, and then probably lost 2-3-4, and maybe it's a matchup thing. Sinner's obviously, like, improved. It's absurd to watch him 4 years ago, and then now, the strength, the movement, everything that he does, the serve, everything it's like he plays like a full grown-up now. Whereas he used to kind of look like he was growing into his body and you could see the flashes, but there was a conversation where it's like, is Sinner going to break out in a slam?
I remember.
Yes, was the answer.
Yeah.
To that. But he can it's been fun for me because his base setting where he just goes and bullies you off the court is great. And he would win 5 more slams doing that, right? But the way that he can pick apart strategically in matches, he added in the little choppy Magoo drop shot off the forehand side, hits it cross court 95% of the time, but you just have to cover things. And he's starting to he almost sets up and then kind of almost like punches the drop shot. He started hitting one-handed backhand drop shots up the line and cross more this tournament than I had ever seen before. And I was texting with Jim Courier, who is the best commentator in the world for information, right? I watch Jim commentate and I'm going, oh, I didn't think of that. That's interesting. And here's the spin rate. And here's the heat maps for where Jannik's hitting it. I just don't think these things. It's backed up by X, Y, and Z. He's fantastic. I hope I can be half as informative when I step into the boxes as Jim is. But Jannik's now getting to the place where he has all of these options, and I don't even know that he needs to use them, but it's this intimidating thing where you know he has them anyways.
He just has them sitting there in his back pocket, and you're like, oh, that didn't work.
And he's like melted together all these different parts of other people's games. He now switches directions like Novak did, or does, I should say. We haven't seen him in a minute, but like prime Novak does. He's adopted the drop shots from Carlos. He's changed his serve twice in the last 3 years. He's gone from platform to foot up, and then he adjusted something in his toss, which generally a little cagey about, but the progression of his serve, where he loses the U.S. Open final, and you're going, okay, well, far and away, one of the best 2 players in the world. And one goes hot for 3 months, the other one goes hot for 3 months. They're all kind of just there the whole time, Carlos's run last summer, the summer before, so they just go ebbs and flows. Sinner's a better player than he was last September.
Yeah.
Which is absurd to think about, right? I'm nowhere near the player that Sinner was, and you probably would become stubborn if you had as much success playing one way. This guy's in constant shapeshifter mode, right? Like he's adding, the first serve percentage has gone up, a ton this year. Second serve's better. He's hitting his spots better, right? You now have to defend not only pace when he's hitting at 126, but like it's off of the same toss now, which I don't think it always was before. But that's one of the secrets of the greatest servers, right? Is being able to hit different serves off the same toss. So they're not reading it right before you hit it and adjusting. They're reading it off the racket, right? It's like a pitcher hiding their grip or keeping their shoulder turn, where the changeup looks exactly the same as a fastball, but the differential in speed is 14 miles an hour, right? He's now doing all of those things. And He doesn't have to do them, but he kind of flashes them. Like I watched him play Fils in the semis, and he does the same thing against Ben Shelton. He basically was just like, all right, and Artur Fils has been playing amazing. I mean, it's very, obviously Carlos being out, so it changes all the conversations. Novak is that like third guy just because he's Novak, and he made the finals of a slam like 3 months ago. Even though he hasn't been playing. So I don't know that anyone can take his spot, but you're looking at like the net, and Zverev is like, we'll talk about the space between Sinner, Alcaraz, Zverev, and then there's at least that much space between the rest of Earth, the normies on tour, not Novak, and the rest of the field. Now, Fils is like the leader in the clubhouse over the last 3 months for that like kind of next situation, and you can feel the hype mechanism building in Paris. So Fils is in form. He hits the ball massively. He's been playing great, match tough. And Jannik dismantled him from the word go. And if you look at the way that he beat Fils and Zverev back-to-back completely different ways, like opposite. And I know people are going to go, well, he hit it big and you can't get away from it. Yes, but the differences were very, very clear. Zverev, way back on the serve, like returning from like Rafa place. Fils, like, listen, this guy he's the real deal. He's great. And the matches that he has lost and the players he's lost to are when the guys can rush him, right? When he has time, I don't see a lot of guys beating Fils when he has time from here on out, when he's in form. Sinner was 3 feet inside the court taking second serves, and it was on Fis's feet before he could actually adjust, and then he was just playing from behind. So forces that first ball, Fils is backed up, and then he just pinned him in the backhand side. Would not let him out of jail. Was like, I'm going to go big. I hit it so big, you cannot create space and run around with that forehand to get a hold of the rally. I'm going to pin you there, pin you there, pin you there, pin you there. And then when you start cheating, I'm going to burn you line. And it's like, if you're Fils, how do you get away from that? If someone can pick off corners, switch directions, and they hit it bigger than anyone on earth, what do you do to get out of it? There's not a lot of options. And he hit a couple, early in the second set. The only shot that was available to him on a regular basis was going hard, flat line backhand. And he hit a couple winners early in the second set. But like, that's a risky shot. Off of pace, like if that's the shot that if you hit well that you're going to win the point on, and everything else is going to be a struggle, that's depressing when you're in a matchup like that.
I mean, I think for those last 2 matches, Sinner didn't face a single break point in either match.
He was in every return game.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, and then with Zverev, so you see the way he plays against Fils, he mixes up the droppers a little bit just to kind of show he has it. And then, so Fils tries to create some space, right? He tries to like, listen, I'm going to go back to where I want to take full cuts, because that's the game now, right? Like, you give yourself space, and then you make up for not kind of taking the real estate of the court with these big swings and this like the first Luxilon generation, and everyone's going crazy. And then Sinner starts dropping him. So he goes, okay, I see your adjustment. Now you have to make up the space inside the court. Fils has to respect that. Then he goes back to pinning him in the corner. Yeah. It's like, how do you get out of these patterns? Right? So then he rolls Fils 2 and 4. And I don't want to be like, I love Fils. I think if he can set Paris on fire with his personality, the way he plays, like, he's swag max. Like, Paris, if he gets over kind of the hometown, home country thing, that place, RG will be rocking.
Yeah.
For him. It's going to be really exciting to watch. And imagine having all that form, being that next best guy, and then, like, I know what he's going to do. I make an adjustment. He adjusts to my adjustment. I have to change it, and then I get back to the original thing that was working for him. Mm-hmm. That's brutal. Like, he has to feel like he's serving 78%. Not easy. So then you go to Zverev in the final, who you've had a lot of success against, who is far and away the next best player after Carlos and Sinner on a consistent basis. So Novak is the outlier here, because I don't care what he's ranked. I don't care how much he's been playing. He's a threat in every tournament he enters from here until, Novak's immortalized in this conversation. So let's just separate him. All the respect lives here, and then I'm going to have a rational conversation about the rest of the tour. Is that fine?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Can anyone get upset at me for that?
No.
Weird. So then you play the next best player, And it's like, okay, I pinned. It's not going to work against Zverev because Zverev actually likes just going toe-to-toe from that backhand side.
Yeah.
Now, what I think only Sinner can get away with, Alcaraz maybe, but Zverev, if you get into a thing where he's behind the baseline, he can flatten out that backhand, sail it to where it's eating up the baseline, and you can't get away from it. So therefore, he doesn't have to you're not going to be aggressive, and all of a sudden he has to move out of it. What does Sinner do? He didn't let Zverev get set on 2 balls in a row. Instead of pinning him like Fees, where Fees is just getting the same ball, but he just can't get out of it, he didn't let Zverev set up for 2 balls. So they're like, well, he plays Zverev's forehand. I'm like, kind of. He just doesn't let him get set on the backhand.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he's playing a backhand, he's in movement. And then it's like, okay, so if you're Zverev, you know this. He looked like depressed from the first ball, by the way.
Yeah.
And I want to get into something with Zverev in a second, so remind me to go back to it. He was hurt this week.
Mm-hmm.
He was hurt last year. We hear very little from him when he's hurt, so I want to give him his props, right? So just save a second for that, and if I get distracted, get me back there.
No, we have some sound from him later that will
Great.
kind of tee this up.
So completely different than what you did against Feast. Would not let Zverev get set. Like, you can't find that rhythm of movement because Zverev is an amazing mover. If you see him in these long rallies, his rhythm and his sliding, he very rarely doesn't look off balance.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like you catch him and it's like a wobbly shot. Like, his base for someone who's tall and skinny is as good as I've seen, right? And he gets that length on the backhand side, and you can't. He basically dares you to try to switch directions. And if you do to the forehand, it's a glancing blow. He can create some height, and then traffic goes back in that same pattern. Sinner can take that ball that Zverev hits deep, kind of cross that eats up the baseline, and he can go toe-to-toe with him with the backhand. And he can also hit, he was hitting this little like inside-out check down line to where then Zverev is all of a sudden having to move to his forehand, which he doesn't like to flatten out. And then sometimes he was even having to go sideways and then forward. And so if you don't hit, like the pressure set, if you're Zverev and you have that ball and then all of a sudden you're 4 feet behind the baseline and you have to run to a forehand and then kind of eat up court and go in, you know if you don't hit that ball perfectly, that next ball is on you with no notice. Mm-hmm. And then you're scrambling, and then it's Sinner, similar to Rafa, once he gets a hold of you, it's really hard to get out of that equation. I mean, it's just, he literally, the patterns were completely different in the semis and the finals. His serving patterns were a little bit different. His direction and when he switched and how he switched was completely different. 2-4 and 1-2. I mean, those are scorelines that you win when you're like playing like a state tournament when you're 14.
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing that to the best players in the world. Crazy. You have some stat candy for me?
Well, I mean, it's a historic run, obviously, for Sinner. He's the first man ever to win 5 consecutive Masters 1000 titles. Djokovic won 4 3 times, which is a joke. Nadal won 4 once. Neither reached 5. Those 5 are Paris, Indian Wells, Miami, Monte Carlo, and Madrid.
And 1 World Tour Finals just sandwiched in there.
Just so
we're clear. Just as like an add-on
to
your stat.
Yeah. Won last 3 Masters of 2026 without dropping a set. First man ever to do that. Won 8 of 9 Masters 1000s events so far. Rome is all that's left on his
perfect
Thanos glove, last jewel.
His Thanos glove.
Yeah. And so, I mean, it's ridiculous. And then 4th man to reach the final of all 9 Masters 1000s, joining Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. Did it at 24, younger than any of those guys.
It's just a strange thing. And I say this a lot on the show. Like, the big 3 go. The one-namers go. Serena goes. And you're like, okay, let's get back to sanity. Mm-hmm. Let's get back to parity. Let's let some of us schmucks get through and have some success. Nope.
I don't know. We were talking about it in the morning meeting, and Megan, newsletter Megan, was like, just again, we're talking about this again. I'm like, I don't know. It's like when the Patriots were going on an undefeated run, every story led with they won again because it's an iconic moment, right? I mean, it's like this. You need to acknowledge how rarefied this is and appreciate that you get to witness it.
Well, listen. We do this show, and I guarantee you some, they're going to be in the comments going, enough with Sinner. It's like, listen, we largely, as a show that covers tennis, get dictated to.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to ignore a person who's on this run?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's not real life.
No.
That's not like we're just going to like sideswipe because we're bored. If you're bored by this, then you're not watching. And you're not watching the complexity and you're not watching how it goes. Like it's just absurd. I mean, dismantling people the way that he did. And also, by the way, like he didn't spend any time on court the last 2 matches.
No. He had 10 hours, under 10 hours the entire Madrid, and the first match was over 2 hours, and every other one was under 2 hours, and then it was nothing.
Let's also just talk about, okay, Indian Wells, Miami. Oh, he'll take a break. Like geez. I went to Miami once and took 4 months off. I was like, I might actually retire now. Shows up at Monte Carlo. Chicken dinner there. Oh, well, maybe he just cruises Madrid and everyone's like, maybe he pulls out of Rome. I don't think he can pull out of Rome.
No.
Well, one, I mean, obviously there's he seems immune to pressure, by the way. I don't mean pressure like in matches. I mean like outside forces. If he wasn't ready to play Rome, I have no doubts that his team would take, I mean, he's like the king of the macro view right now.
Yeah.
But like he has 4 days off, 5 days off. Then he plays every other day.
He's only gone to 3 sets 3 times since Australia.
Yeah, I mean, he's just trouncing people. I mean, and he's going to play Rome and he's going to be rested. There's going to be plenty of time. He's not even putting in time. Like, I don't think he's worn out. Like, it's absurd. And I just don't see how anyone really gets in his way right now.